females. Welcome to your divine protection reading. So, without further delay, let's jump straight into your message. Find out what God wants to tell you. Okay. So, in whatever matter comes out, you have divine protection. Definitely a mystery card. Alright, so the first message is destructive behavior. In the bottom of the deck, it says, be yourself and why. It says, time to act mature. So, we have there's a time to speak and a time to be quiet. So what God wants to tell you is it's time for you to change. So apparently you're a bad gal. But the thing is, it's one thing to be bad in a defensive way, but it's another thing to be bad in a destructive way, especially a self-destructive way. You don't want to do that. So some of the behaviors that you're emulating right now are actually working against you. They're not working in your best interest. And God is saying, yes, we know that's who you are, but why? Why are you like that? And God is saying, forget all of that, it's time to act mature. So whether you want to face the answers to the why or not is irrelevant. All you need to know is it's time for that change. So it's like you're stepping up another level where you're taking on your responsibilities, what is rightfully due to them, like respect, things like that. That's what God wants to get you involved in now. Okay? So we have there's a time to be quiet and there's a time to speak and a time to be quiet. So that's one way of acting mature, because even if you're speaking the truth, there's a right time to speak, and also the tone of voice that you use matters. So it's not what you say but how you say it as well, because maybe sometimes you're not being rude, but because you're just being your natural self without thought about how you're being perceived and received by others, you may be a little bit off your game. So it's time to not only think yourself and how you want to be or who you are, but also think of other people and how you are being perceived and received, right? So you don't want times to be where you're not being rude, you're not being crude, but you're being received as that because of the tone of voice that you choose to use, or perhaps your body language, maybe the way that you dress and present yourself. All these things play a role in how people perceive us, okay? So it's time to act mature, make the changes that you need to make. And we have know who to ask. So there are people around you who can see what is not working, what elements of your behavior are not working for you, and they actually can see what elements you can adapt so that you can have a smoother ride throughout creation. Mean that everything is gonna be perfect, but at least you have control over how people receive you and how you present yourself to the world. God wants to show you that you have the power to command the world by how you put yourself out there. and what you choose to take in as well. Okay, so let's see what this mystery card is. There is always a way. So don't you ever stop to think, oh, I can't. There is always a way. Okay, even if that means letting go of certain friendships, specific friendships, letting go of specific family members, letting go of specific activities, taking on new activities, things like that. Because if somebody's going to be in the way of you becoming a better version of yourself, that person does not love you. I don't care how much time they tell you that they love you. I don't care what kind of gifts they buy you. I don't care. They're not very smart. They wouldn't be the type of influences for you to learn from. Okay? You're trying to get out of that behavior, not stay in it, because God sees how it's working against you. So it's time to make some changes. Yeah. So know who to ask. So basically deal with people who share your vision, share your view, people who understand where you're trying to get to. Okay. Let's see your next message. Okay, so we have bacteria. This card came out in who was it? Aries, the Aries females reading, I think. I'm gonna have to get clarification for this, but let's see the underlying issue. We have earth and land animal. Integrate. Okay, that sounds like burying. Because if you integrate a land animal and the earth, it sounds like perhaps a pet is going to die of an infection or something. We got energy and tribe. Yeah. I feel like it's possible that you're gonna have your pet, a pet around you is going to pass away. Because to integrate something means to merge them. So if you're merging a land animal and the earth together, that sounds like a burial to me. So just to make sure, let's see what God wants to tell you about this bacteria card. So we do find clarification for this one. Okay. So I'm hearing yes. I don't need to clarify. Yeah, so perhaps it's time to say goodbye to a pet, okay? They're going to develop some kind of infection, and unfortunately, they're going to transition to the spirit realm where they most likely will be a protector. If this is an animal that really loves you, I feel that when they transition to the spirit realm, they stay with you for a while just to make sure that you're okay. Ooh, tears wanna come to my eye. But yeah, I feel like they stay with us for a while, make sure that you're okay, and then they move on. Because I too believe in reincarnation. So they can't stay around us for the rest of our lives and protect us. They're gonna have to go and live their own life again, start their game over, basically. So yeah, so even though this pet is gonna pass away, it's actually good news, because we do need protectors on the spiritual side just as well as we need them here in the physical realm with us. So sometimes when a loved one pass over and things like that, it's partly because there's a mission on that side that they need to do for our betterment and for the betterment of others around them. Okay, be done in this realm, at least not as easily as in that realm. Okay, so we have change or tweak the beat, vibration and energy control. and step out on faith. This is what I was saying to you. God wants you to know that you have the power to command the world by how you present yourself, how you put yourself out there, and what you choose to take in. Like they say, people will only treat you how you allow them to. So that's one example of what we take in. So if you're adamant about not being disrespected, then you will have some control over how people deal with you, because you can't make everybody, but there is always a way. Okay, so yeah, God wants you to control the vibration of your life and the energy of your life. That means mastering your emotions. So even with this pet that may possibly pass away, you don't have to grieve for long. Do something that's in memory of the pet, like maybe a necklace, or something just to remember the pet by. Okay, like a memorial that you can take with you everywhere, a bracelet, maybe a ring, the dog's name or whatever the pet's name, something like that. But yeah, instead of grieving as a way of showing your love and appreciation for the pet, take a little time, mourn, and then just get something in memory of your pet, maybe a photograph or something like that. Okay, yeah, and here you go, that card. It's not what you say, but how you say it. Remember I was saying that before. So yes, you have power in how you put out. And we have team up with you know who. So that's what I was saying as well, with your friends, your friends group and your family group, those who you usually would mesh with. If they are against you making these positive changes for your life, you don't need that kind of stress in your life. It's time to accept that your journey with them in this season is over, until they themselves develop a more mature attitude. Then they can understand and support your newfound level of upgrade. Okay, yeah, God want you to change your look of presentation. So if you know the clothes that you wear the clothes that we wear tend to make people see us how they see us. It's not okay, but the reality is stereotypes. The world is built on stereotypes. So once you carry yourself a certain way, people are going to assume that you are that type of person. So one example that I was thinking of is a police uniform. If you wear a police uniform, people who see you, they can easily mistake you for a police because you're wearing a uniform. Another thing is, if you're wearing like skimpy, slutty clothes, people can assume that you're a slut because you're dressing like them. I'm not saying that you should be covered up completely and things, but limit. There's a limit. There's a healthy limit where it doesn't look sleazy, but rather tastefully sexy. Yeah. So it's about finding that balance between how you want to be and how you want the world to see you. Okay, and it's not gonna work on everybody, but at least if you put in the, you will get it right with most people rather than get it wrong. Okay, so there's some work that you need to put in order for the world to see you and receive you as who you actually are becoming. I wouldn't suggest you go boring, because on either extremes, is to me, either extremes is just like, it's not good to be too sleazy and it's not good to be too conservative. Be free, be artistic, be expressive, be you. All right, so yeah, your own flavor. I'm hearing I need to look at the next card. So we have change your perspective, be independent, and do it alone. And remember, it's a mission, not a competition. This card usually comes out to remind us not to rush. So you know where you're headed, go there, but do it, have a pleasant journey. Let's put it like that. Ooh, and then we have pray before you start making these changes. Okay. So there's that be independent and do it alone. If the people that you usually click with are not in support of you making these changes, then it's time to change them. Okay. And look, the fact that this here is coming out with this, we got change your look, and then we have don't change your perspective. So what I'm getting with this energy here is that the way that you look, it doesn't match up with who you actually are. So it's like mentally you're on the right level or on the right path, but physically, to look at you, people could misrepresent you, misinterpret you, misfile you, because you don't look like who you actually are. Yeah. So that's why it's important for you to understand how the science works when it comes to humanity and our tendency to be stereotypical or judge the book by the cover. We do it. It's not a healthy practice. It's not a sensible practice. But sometimes we are correct, but not all the time. But from the person's perspective, we have the power to control how the world sees us, how the world interact with us. Yeah, by making the choices. It's like alchemy. It's like it's like chemistry. You're mixing. If you mix this with this, you're gonna get that type of energy. Yeah. So let's get your last message. Mystery card there. At the bottom of the deck, return to sender. Let's see. So the card we got gang stalking. All right, so let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. So we got return to sender. Doctor. Okay, so God is saying don't get involved. Low self-esteem. Cooking. Yeah, somebody's planning something. So somebody's trying to create low self-esteem. Or perhaps they've invited you to help to do this. Or perhaps someone's stalking you, and whatever they're doing, they're trying to make you have low self-esteem. So let me read on. Cooking, copycat, and competition. Oh, so it's someone who is jealous of you. I want to compete with you. Ugh. That is like, quit, stop it. They're just trying to annoy you, because once they get to your mental, then they mess up your chemical makeup. Because if you notice, when we're stressed, it messes with our hair, so it changes our DNA. To be angry for a really long time, it changes our DNA. So imagine if we're happy for a really long time, that changes our DNA in a positive way too. Yeah, that's why they say anger and hate and anger in your heart will consume you too. So I'm kind of confused as to the players in this here scenario, but I'll give you the translation from several different angles. So we got gang stalking. The underlying issue is return to sender. So, okay, so I got it now. So you are being gang stalked. And God is saying, don't let it affect you. This person, they want to be you. They wish they were you. Okay? So God's saying, quit the psychic warfare. Don't even think about it. Whatever somebody does, whatever they're cooking up, whatever plan and scheme they're cooking up to create a scenario where you end up feeling like you are less than you are, God said, don't even give that your energy. Because it's all psyops, basically. It's a psychological operation, and this is what they're hoping for you. Low esteem. Alright, so somebody is jealous of your swagger, so much so that they wish they had your swagger. Because they don't have it, they want to mess it up so that you don't have it either. So let's see what this mystery card is. End it. God is like, don't even bother. Don't waste your time. Keep going. Stay focused on what your goals are. God will look after these haters. Okay? So, that's what I have for you, Gemini, young ladies. Until next time, take care.